It's raining! Hooray! It's been so smoky, everything's burning up. Now there's water falling from the sky. All right, here we go. Welcome, Virgo. This is a general reading for September 2017. Let's get into it. Okay, so it's a very scattered reading and an emotional reading. Positive and negative emotions. Just very kind of emotional and on the one hand, kind of very comfortable within yourself, but on the other hand, scattered, right? There's definitely an element of being within your element, and of course it is Virgo season, and also this sort of scattered energy is a very in some ways Virgo energy, right? This I shouldn't say scattered, but this kind of arms reaching out into everything sort of thing, right? And it does have a very sort of an earthy energy to it, in this sense of being kind of a physical feeling. And I'm getting the feeling that too, for some of you, your homes might be very I shouldn't say important, but the center of a lot this month, right? And there's kind of a dichotomy between your home, being at home, and wanting to be at home, and wanting to kind of maybe beautify your home, and feeling like a nesting sort of vibe, and this kind of like wanting to go out a little bit and interact, and maybe also bring people back into your home, right? We have this success card up here, which has to do a lot with hope, right? So it definitely has to do with kind of like looking forward into the future, and keeping yourself busy, and kind of trying to like stay on the positive side of things, right? But there's also an indication, like I said, of some negative emotion with those happy emotions, some sort of insecurities and things, and just I'm seeing a lot of like, it's like an octopus, right, with a lot of different arms kind of everywhere, a little bit scattered, as I said, but I don't like to use the word scattered, because it's sort of more of a disjointed vibe. This isn't quite as disjointed. It's just, like I said, in everything, right, in all these different corners and all these different areas. So there might definitely be a lot going on for you guys this month, and a sense of going with it, right? Of going where you need to be, going where you're pulled, or going where you're drawn, whether it be home or outside of the home, or obligations that are pulling you in directions that you aren't drawn to go in. You may not be so keen on following those obligations, right? A little bit more of a on a this kind of floatier vibe, right? But in a grounded way, in a very sensory way. Yeah, and a feeling of wanting to share your gifts, and share your strengths and things like that, especially where it comes to your sort of physical strengths and things. Yeah, capabilities and that kind of thing. But yeah, very, very, very all over the place sort of vibe, good and bad. So let's see. Let's see what the rest of the reading has to say for you, advice-wise. Clean these up, put some more cards down. Be right back. Okay, Virgo, I'm back with your advice. All right, what I'm getting from these cards here has to do with nurturing. What I want to say is nurturing your path rather than your environment. So rather than worrying so much about stepping on people's toes and doing things the exact right way, and being exacting, and being very very specific and accurate, and true to what seems best for everything around you and for your environment and stuff, to allow yourself to be a little bit more exploratory, right? Still hang on to who you are, of course, but you can use a little bit of force, and you have the leeway and almost necessity to be a little bit, just a little bit more maybe prickly than you feel like is okay on the normal, right? And under the guise, not under the guise, but on the basis of, as I said, nurturing your path. As I said, like putting your, well, I didn't say this yet, but putting yourself on a trajectory you want to be on, right? Making sure that you're on that trajectory. I'm not getting from this that there's a huge indication of like having to really be very forceful about your surroundings, right? I don't think that your surroundings are, at least not kind of according to this, really getting in the way of that. But it's like maybe it could be a little bit of a distraction, or you could want to put a lot of your energy into other people's projects or other people's ideas and thoughts, or just the things that are going on around you, you know what I mean? Maybe very captivating to you, but to maybe take a step back and look at how that's going to affect you in the long run, what you're spending your time on, what you could be spending your time on, and whether this is beneficial to you or not, right? You or your goals, or your dependence, or that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like what's really truly important, and is it putting energy into all these different things that are kind of captivating you around you, or is it something a little bit different that maybe not so simply in line with what's going on currently in your like home life and that kind of thing. Yeah, I hope that makes some sense. There's definitely an indication of being creative, right? Using your creativity, using your insight, using this aptitude for your physical, knowing what's very appropriate in the physical sense, if that makes any sense. Just any kind of like insight that you have for that kind of thing. Pay attention to that, you know. Pay attention to your physical reactions to things as well, and how nurturing are they for you, right? And again, I'm not getting a huge indication of struggle with that, and I'm also not getting a huge indication of like you having to be very self-centered in order to get this, right? But I think it's more just a little bit about shifting your normal mode, where your normal mode may be to go into this this kind of putting a lot of energy into things for other people kind of thing. Just shifting a little bit of that energy, right? Yeah, to be a little bit more, as I said, self-serving in the sense of where are you going, and how can you help yourself get there, right? Rather than constantly helping others get where they need to go, and that kind of thing. Yeah, okay. Hopefully this is helpful. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.